Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss what are antibiotics and how the bacteria are becoming resistant to antibiotics. So let's start. What are antibiotics? Antibiotics are basically drugs used to treat bacterial infections. They target bacteria by inhibiting or stopping their growth or by killing the bacteria. So the first antibiotic, which was penicillin, was first antibiotic discovered in 1928 by Alexander Fleming. There are now hundreds of antibiotics classified into several categories. These antibiotics classes include penicillin, cephalosporin, carbapenems, aminoglycosides, tetracycline, macrolides, fluoroquinolones, and sulfonamides. Ac- these different classes of antibiotics have different modes of action against bacteria. Some work by targeting the cell wall, some work by targeting ribosomes, some work by inhibiting DNA and RNA synthesis. So these are the examples like beta-lactams, penicillin, cephalosporin, carbapenems. These are all cell wall targeting antibiotics, whereas antibiotics that targets ribosomes are tetracycline, macrolides, chloramphenicol, aminoglycosides. Many drugs like penicillin, cephalosporin, and vancomycin are bactericidal in nature. That means they kill the cell by inhibiting the cell wall synthesis. All these drugs have different mechanism. They won't affect human cells because human cells does not have peptidoglycan layer or cell wall. uh, uh, Antibiotics that disrupt cell wall are pretty extensive and resulting in cell death. Example, rifamycin is an antibiotic that prevents RNA synthesis in bacteria, so bacteria cannot do transcription and translation. The other one is the bacteria which used to make protein in order to survive. We all have to make the protein to survive to build muscles. So bacteria also have to make different proteins to combat the environmental situations around them. So, however, there are antibiotics that target either the 30S subunit and 50S subunit of ribosome. Erythromycin and chloramphenicol targets 50S subunit, whereas tetracycline, streptomycin, and gentamicin targets 30S subunit of ribosomes. These are bacteriostatic antibiotic. Means they cannot kill the bacteria, but they stop the metabolism by inhibiting DNA and RNA synthesis. Why bacteria becoming resistant to antibiotics? Antibiotic resistance occurs when bacteria become able to survive and grow in the presence of one or more antibiotics. There are several ways for bacteria to become antibiotic resistant. The main one is through selective pressure. So what is selective pressure? The selective pressure occurs when not all bacteria are susceptible to the antibiotic used to treat infection, and the surviving bacteria can continue to multiply. This creates a bacterial population that is resistant to antibiotics to which the bacteria was exposed. Selective pressure is a natural process that can be slowed but not stopped. Another important thing is that overuse of antibiotics helps to speed up the selection for resistant bacteria. Bacteria is genetically resilient that allows them to respond to wide range of environmental threat, including antibiotics, which imperil their existence. Bacteria share ecological niche with antimicrobial producing bacteria which have evolved mechanism to withstand the effects of antibiotics. There are so many bacteria which produce antibiotics. For example, if we take Pseudomonas fluorescens, there are so many strains of Pseudomonas fluorescens which secretes antibiotics to survive or to fight the situations around them. So how antibiotic resistance happens, let's take the example to this picture. uh, First, lots of germs, a few are drug resistant. So suppose we we are taking the antibiotics. So in the first picture, some are already, few are drug resistant, but some are means many are sensitive. Antibiotics kill bacteria causing the illness as well as good bacteria protecting the body from infections. So the the bacteria which cause illness, antibiotic kill them, but few of them are left, and these the left ones are now drug resistant because we there are so many reasons of becoming the resistance. One is overuse of antibiotics, another one is not taking the proper dosage with proper intervals of time. This is one of the reasons. So take the medicine in a proper dosage in regular interval of time, and complete the course of proper antibiotic that has been prescribed by your physician. So the drug resistant bacteria are now allowed to grow and take over the situation, and they are becoming replicate, and they grow, multiply, and increasing their population. And they also give their drug resistant to other bacteria, causing more problems. Means they transfer their genetic material to the other bacteria uh, via conjugation. So which makes other bacteria resistant to particular types of drugs or antibiotics. So this is how the antibiotic resistance happens. There are so many reasons, but another one, some bacteria has so much evolved that they have developed a particular resistance to particular type of antibiotics using their body structure, cell wall structure. And what are these? If we take this example, we can see this antibiotics through gene. Uh, they develop their body, their cell structure into three different types of modifications. They do modifications in their bacterial structures, like some by secreting antibiotic degrading enzyme. Some bacteria produce efflux pump, and some modified their cell wall structure by secreting penicillin binding proteins. If you talk about E. coli secretes the enzyme beta lactamase, and if the penicillin targets to attack the E. coli, so E. coli secretes beta lactamase and make the active penicillin into inactive form. So this is one of the modification made by E. coli. Another bacteria have different modification, like if it is targeted by antibiotic tetracycline, so they just make a kind of pump around the cell wall structure, so they just push out that antibiotic outside the cell wall. So this is one of the modification. The third one is like penicillin binding proteins. Every penicillin is specific to the targeted cell wall of bacteria. So bacteria use penicillin binding proteins to modify their cell wall structure. So the coming penicillin, beta lactam penicillin, cannot bind to the particular bacteria. So in this way, it just repel that uh, penicillin or antibiotic. So these are the modification which bacteria already have made, and uh, uh, the effect of antibiotic resistance is increasing day by day. So we have to reduce the use of antibiotics without the prescription as directed by physician. So in this video, that's all about this. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much.